Well, speaking of the benchmark values, the Ghana Union Traders Association has mounted stiff opposition against the reversal in the 2022 budget, citing threats to local imports as well as the price of goods and services. Let's put up sections of that particular report that they have mounted. And of course, it reads that the Ghana Union Traders Association, umbrella body of about 68 traders association nationwide, in conjunction with other relevant stakeholder groups in the private sector, namely that of the Food and Beverage Association, Importers and Exporters Association, the Pharmaceutical Importers and Wholesalers Association, the Ghana Freight Forwarders, Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, Automobile Dealers Union of Ghana, Concerned Spare Part Dealers Association have met and unanimously resolved to vehemently kick against the reversal of the 50 and 30% benchmark value reduction policy presented to Parliament by the Finance and Economic Planning Minister Ken Ofoyeta in the just read budget. They go on to say that this unbearable situation led to outrage and serious agitations by members of the business community, especially importers, and call for drastic reduction of the cost of doing business in the country. They have therefore called on government, according to them, in the very fourth paragraph, government made them understand that it was constrained by ECOWAS common external tariffs and as a result could not reduce import duties easily, but decided to adopt this method as the best option to alleviate the suffering of Ghanaian businesses and restore peace in the country. Therefore, in the very last paragraph, reversing this policy, they say, will not only be inimical to the growth of businesses, but will also spark intense protests that may result to unrest in the country, as the atmosphere is already full of tension due to the pronouncement by the finance minister. So that's the statement from GUTA there. They're, predicting, bad times in terms of mounting nationwide protests against the policy. Let's move on to other, paragraphs in the statement. And they're saying that it is needless to mention the diabolical, insensitive and irrational lobbying by the government by the AGI to perpetuate obnoxious policy against their local competitors in the business arena. Their bane lies in their lack of understanding of modern business and failure to acknowledge the real factors mitigating against their performance as an industry. Well, the AGI, according to GUTA, should stop driving a wedge between local manufacturers and other key players in the private sector because their attitude has the potential of growing risk of unity among members of the private sector, which will not help the developmental agenda of the government. It's signed by the Secretary General of the Ghana Union Traders Association, Alpha A. Shaban there. Well, this has been responded to by the outgoing president of the AGI in the ongoing, annual general meeting. Let's get on board the president of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng, to help us understand what exactly entered the scripting of this particular press report. We're grateful that you could join us, Doc. We've heard from the president of the AGI, the outgoing president, calling for calm and also imploring your members to collaborate to ensure that the interests of local industries stand tall. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, it is a welcome news, and this is long overdue, because this is what we have to be doing, because we are very relevant stakeholders in nation building, and that's what they are forgetting to know. And that manufacturing is never complete. They do not stand alone. We are very integral part of manufacturing. If that's what they think, that they stand alone, then that's why they are failing. Because we are very much intertwined with manufacturing. Not until they recognize this fact and work with us hand in hand and stop destroying us, they will never also succeed. And so the call from their president is in the right direction. But in the meantime, we are not going to, we've made a lot of concessions for the manufacturing sector, and we can't make any further concessions again. The fact that we have the benchmark value they are enjoying, and we are also enjoying the benchmark value, they want to, they are lobbying government to take the benchmark from us and then maintain the benchmark for them. But how do they seek to destroy the trading sector, the distribution sector, and then have their way? This is not how it's done. The issues that is militating against their production far outweighs that of the importer, who would have gone to buy goods from thousands of kilometers away pay duty and all that. They have to benchmark their goods with their counterparts elsewhere. And then when they find the problem, they go to government and say that these are the problems that make us uncompetitive, rather than putting all their frustration on us. It is not fair.
Well,
and that we are not going to allow them to have their way. They will never have their way, because we will never concede to them. In
Dr.
this case, we have a set of programs.
Great. In your press release, of which we have presented, you have exclusively stated the reasons why you're opposing this particular reversal, of which you've rightly submitted. But in sections of your press release, lie threats of a nationwide protest in this particular angle. It begs the question, though, have you exhausted all channels? We recently did hear of some engagement with the Deputy Trade Minister. How far with that engagement?
Yeah, we have unfinished business with government, if this thing will be allowed to go. Because the benchmark value reduction did not come out of the blues. It did not come out of emptiness. It came as a result that we have a serious problem, and government recognized that. And the acceptance of which that government reduced the benchmark as an alternative to mitigate the plight of the trading community. So the problem still persists. So not until we've sat down to find a way that the same problem, government find a way to mitigate it, and then some conclusions come. They cannot reverse us to a problem. I hope you understand that if there's a problem and you prefer a solution to it by using the benchmark reduction policy, if you are even taking off the benchmark, then you are not taking us definitely to the problem. What have we done? Have you started engaging government? That's what government promises, that they will have stakeholder engagement with us, and that hasn't come. And until then, that we have gotten the assurance that we are not being reversed to that problem, we are not going to accept this, because we cannot sit down for government or for AGI to pursue government to impose this on us. We'll never do that. They are sector players, and we are also sector players in the business community. They could not pursue their agenda against ours. We have a set of problems, and they have their set of problems. They should talk about their problems and leave us alone. This is not fair. Government should listen to us also. We are equal stakeholders of the nation building. For their call to collaborate with them, I agree to it, but it's long overdue. But nonetheless, I'm open, and my people are very open also to receive the leadership of AGI for us to sort things out ourselves. And that call is in good order, and I respect that.
GUTA is for warning of possible nationwide protests. How soon?
Yeah, I'm always for dialogue. You know my leadership style. I always want to engage government and talk, and I have a great deal of respect for government, because most times they listen when we put up cogent reasons, and we've done that. We put cogent reasons for them not to listen to AGI, and I'm waiting for positive dialogue with government. If not, I cannot manage the frustration that is being put to bear by my membership. That one, it will be difficult for me to manage their frustration. And so it depends on what my members tell me. And then we are also waiting for government also. So it depends on what government do, and then what we also do, so that we can build some consensus. Otherwise, I cannot manage the frustrations of my people.
Dr. Obin, we're grateful that he could join us. He's president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association there, mounting a stiff opposition against the benchmark value.